Absolute Superman, reign of the Superman. Superman fed the parasite on controlled doses of his own energy, causing it to grow again to the size of a small dog. This regular feeding was sufficient to keep it docile, and Superman trained it not to act with hostility towards others, essentially adopting it as a pet. Some time after the attack, Jimmy Olsen called up Superman to complain about his new job with the Daily Planet, and mentioned that Lois had not joined him at the newspaper. Superman quickly realized that Lois was going after the Al Ghuls and called her to ask where she was. She refused to tell him, and ended the call when he tried to talk her out of killing Talia in revenge for her father. Superman tracked Lois to the basement of Lazarus Corp's abandoned headquarters in Metropolis. He flew there and found Lois in a standoff with Talia and the aged Ra's al Ghul standing between them. Superman ordered them to lower their weapons, but they both refused. He then said that he could disarm them both in a second if it came to it, and in response Talia brought out the father box, which overwhelmed him with pain. Raz begged Talia to call off the box, but she refused and shot Lois with a blast of energy from her sword. Raz grabbed the sword, and they struggled until a figure in a welding suit and mask walked in and threw a sledgehammer into Ra's back. Superman managed to summon the strength to resist the box and punched it as hard as he could. He sent it crashing into a sarcophagus, which exploded, and a man with a lightning bolt on his chest emerged. Raz identified the man from the sarcophagus as King Shazam and was terrified by him, claiming that he was far more dangerous than Superman as he could not be controlled. King Shazam started screaming with pain in a language which the man with the hammer identified as 4,000-year-old Middle Egyptian. Superman tried to calm King Shazam, but King Shazam punched him so hard that he was thrown 1,100 miles away, crashing down in a field in Wyoming. King Shazam recognized the box and became hostile. Raz tried to speak to King Shazam in his ancient language, but King Shazam simply murdered him, slicing him into pieces. Superman flew in and attacked King Shazam, driving him up through the tower and out of the roof. King Shazam then punched Superman away again, sending him crashing back down through the skyscraper. Due to the damage they had caused, the building began to collapse, but the people in the basement were too distracted to run. Lois was about to shoot Talia in the back when Superman flew in, saved them from the falling rubble, disarmed Lois, and bound up Talia in a bent steel beam. Superman gave Lois back her watch and asked her not to remove it again, as its crystals would heal her injuries. He told them that emergency services were on the way, then returned Lois's gun. Clearly disapproving of her attempt to kill Talia, Superman flew away before Lois could apologize or explain herself. Superman taught himself Middle Egyptian at super speed by reading books, then returned to try and speak with King Shazam, who was floating in the sky over Metropolis. He told King that, although Raz was evil, murdering him was against the law in the present day. Death Adam retorted that he heard nothing but suffering in this new world, and it looked like killing was only wrong when men like him did it. He believed that the world was the same as it had been when he was first sealed away, and that Superman was a slave of the new world's rulers like Ra's al Ghul, who would seal him away again for killing one of the elites. Superman tried to explain that was not true, and promised he would not allow King Shazam to be locked away again. But King Shazam refused to listen and attacked him. They fought in the sky over Metropolis, and the man with the hammer flew up to help Superman. The three of them brawled across the world, flying at supersonic speeds until they crashed down on a beach. Hawkman also flew down to join them, and the four squared off to fight. Hall spoke to King Shazam in Middle Egyptian and tried to convince him to stand down, saying that he could help Death Adam find his way in the modern world. But King Shazam refused to listen and blasted him with lightning. Hawkman hit King Shazam with a full-strength blow with his mace, sending him into the upper atmosphere. To Superman's surprise, Hawkman said that the three of them should fight him together when he returned, revealing that he had come to help. Superman agreed, but refused to kill him. The furious King Shazam flew back down towards them, and the trio charged into battle against him. The sheer power of the fight caused catastrophes around the world, which Superman would also save people from at super speed. For a moment it looked like they may be able to defeat King Shazam, but he overpowered them all and bound them up in his sand cloak. King Shazam declared that his victory showed that a prophecy he had heard 3,000 years ago about a savior was about to come to pass. But Hawkman, who knew the story, laughed at him and told him that Superman was the prophesied savior, not him. Hawkman also revealed that the source of King Shazam's powers were not, as he had believed, the ancient gods of Egypt. In fact, it was Ra's al Ghul's father box, activated by a magic word. Superman broke free of the sand cloak and punched King Shazam in the face, making him lose focus and release the others. King Shazam stabbed Superman through the shoulder with a spear made of lightning. But before he could finish him off, Project Parasite ran in to attack him. Hawkman decided to kill King Shazam while he was distracted and knocked Superman away to stop him from intervening. But Superman quickly recovered and grabbed Hawkman with his sunstone cloak to stop him charging at King Shazam. The man with the hammer suggested that they let Hawkman kill King Shazam, but Superman said he could tell he wasn't a killer and didn't believe that. Hawkman and Superman started arguing, and the man with the hammer charged at King Shazam, deciding to take matters into his own hands. However, before he could land a hit, King Shazam ripped Project Parasite apart and brought down a massive lightning storm on them, then flew back to Metropolis. All three of them survived, but were all severely injured. Superman was barely able to get up on his feet, and the others were too badly hurt to move. He said he would stop King Shazam and then get help for the others. But Hawkman told him King Shazam was too powerful and he couldn't beat him on his own. He told Superman to take his mace, as in his hands it would be powerful enough to kill Teth Adam. Superman refused, but the man in the welding suit told him to take his hammer as well, and told him that to survive in the world, sometimes you had to swing the hammer. Superman reluctantly took both weapons, with the mace further enhancing his armor, and flew back to Metropolis to face King Shazam again. He tackled King Shazam at high speed and flew them both into Earth's moon. He hit King Shazam in the head with both weapons and said that he wouldn't believe until he said the magic word.